Alright nerds, so today we're going to look at a separation process where we are separating a homogeneous solution that is two liquids. So one liquid is dissolved into another. Now, the way to think of that is whichever the liquid has the smaller volume, that's the solute, and whatever the major component of the larger volume liquid, that's the solvent. Okay, so what's the point? Today you want to be able to get a couple new words into your vocabulary, which we'll see on the next slide. You want to be able to explain what distillation is, and you also want to be able to identify the physical properties that we use to separate mixtures through distillation. Okay, so new words. Miscible liquids. Basically, these are liquids that you can mix together and they'll form a homogeneous solution. Here, we see two liquids which aren't miscible. And a good way to think of it is mix-up cordial. That's miscible. This one here is not, and that's oil and water. Basically, miscible is just a fancy word for mixable. So oil and vinegar, they're non-miscible, and this is why if you let your salad dressing set out, you get the two different layers. Water and vinegar, they mix perfectly. They are, in fact, I have that completely backwards. That one there should say miscible, and that one should say miscible. So that I'm an idiot. So, volatility. Basically, volatility is how easily, so at a low temperature, something evaporates or boils. So something which is more volatile would be something which boils or evaporates at a lower temperature. Alright, and that's what we're looking at right now. So distillation is a fancy way of separating two miscible liquids. Alright, so distillation is basically the separation of two miscible liquids with heating and cooling. And we can see here we've got seawater in here, and they're separating out the salt water from the pure water. And as you heat it up, the water turns into a vapor and it rises. And because the pressure is increasing, it's got to go somewhere, but it can't go up any higher, so it goes into this hole here. And now it goes to travel down here on its way out to escape, but this has got water pumping in. So water comes here at the water in, and that cools it down. And because it's cooling down, this gas here condenses again and turns into a liquid. So the mixture is heated up to the boiling point of the more volatile liquid, and it then rises as a gas or / vapor. The gas is caught in the condenser and condenses back to a liquid. The physical property for this is volatility or boiling point. And just down here, we get a pure liquid, whatever it is that we're doing up here, and that is called the distillate. And that's another word you need to know. Alright, industrial distillation. You don't need to go through this, just this is what it looks like in the real world when we do it for oil. This giant building here is that column there. That's the version of that in industry, and as it heats up, it comes up, cools down, comes out as a liquid. And this is how we separate crude oil into its many different factions. And we'll talk about that in class in a bit more detail. This is just a bit of you don't need to write this down, this is just a bit of information for you so you can see that this is something that's useful beyond the classroom. Alright, see you in class.